Good afternoon, Platinum Top 50 Austin. So glad to have you online with us today for this special presentation, telling your story through Instagram stories with Melanie Mendez-Gonzalez, hosted by our friends at Perry Homes. It is such an honor and privilege always to be welcomed into your home. For some of you, you're maybe venturing out and going to the office. But for those of you who are welcoming us into your home, we just do not take this opportunity for granted to be here to educate you, to provide content. It is an honor, and we just can't thank you enough for spending your time and afternoon. Hopefully grab a snack or grab a cup of coffee and join us and get educated on something that is personally super exciting for me. I love digital marketing. I love all of the opportunities to share your story and build your brand online, especially through the free tools that are available for you through social media. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ashton Rue, the COO of Platinum Top 50. Most of you are used to seeing Amber, but we are sharing the responsibilities today, and she's on some other calls, and so I'm just really excited to be here and really just so appreciative to our friends at Perry Homes. When the beginning of March came around and we thought we were going to do a bunch of internal projects, we quickly shift gears and moved our online event format or our live event format where we would normally be at a builder's model, where we would be inviting you into these beautiful homes so you could see the product and experience it firsthand. And our partners have just gone over and above and beyond to continue to provide quality programming. And so we're grateful for partners like Perry who invest in us, invest in this program, and ultimately are investing in you, the agents. Our friends at Perry Homes do have a quick video that they wanted me to share with you. So I'm gonna do that now, and then we'll hear from one of their sales professionals in Austin.
Perry Homes is a trusted Texas builder for over 50 years, committed to providing you with exceptional value, quality, and customer service. We have been building in Austin for almost 5 years, where we strive to create a unique cultural experience deep in the heart of Texas, all while providing quality homes at a reasonable price. Our sales professionals are the heart of our company, helping to make a new home buying experience seamless and enjoyable time and time again. We have a little bit of something for every buyer with our open concept light and bright homes that feature floor plans for everyone. Our lot sizes range from 40 foot to 90 foot, with our beautiful homes themselves ranging from 1,500 to 5,000 square feet, with starting prices in the 270s. You can find Perry Homes building in 12 communities throughout the Austin area, including San Marcos, Buda, Leander, Dripping Springs, Georgetown, Liberty Hill, Manor, and within the Austin city limits themselves. Each community we build in has a wide variety of amenities that fits every buyer's needs and wants. Visit us at one of our Perry Homes communities today.
And we are so excited to have Perry Home on board with us. We have Amy Marino, a sales professional with Perry Homes online with us
to Perry
today.
Homes.
Sorry, I've got the video continued. Round 2 of Perry Homes video. Hey, Amy, how are you?
Great, Ashton. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, so glad to have you. I mean, and I hear that you're at Bryson and Deerbrook, right?
I
so
am.
You are juggling 2 communities. Tell me a little bit about where you're at.
Yeah, so I'm in Bryson and Leander, and I personally had the opportunity to live in Leander for about 8 years, and I actually live in a Perry home in Bryson as well. So it's really fun to live it and to be able to work here and connect on many levels with the community.
Absolutely. So you live in a Perry home. So obviously you have a very unique perspective of what makes your product different and why Perry Homes is such a quality builder. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is to actually live that lifestyle?
Absolutely. So just again, the list of standard features that we have, our floor plans, people can just feel all the natural light, the quality throughout, the upgrades, you just get a little bit more quality feeling without the custom price. I would say people are really impressed with what Perry has to offer and, our long-standing tradition of customer service, of course.
And then there are obviously 12 communities that you guys are building in and around Austin. So there's not only just a variety in the product, there's variety in the community that you can live in and location as well.
Absolutely. So communities throughout Austin, many different floor plans, many different elevations and looks, proximity to various areas. So there really is something for everyone.
That's great. And so just like our business, just like every realtor that's on this call, we've had to make adjustments, and we've had to make adjustments fast. And I know that Perry Homes was even doing some things virtually before, even any of this happened. So can you tell me about some of the adjustments that you guys have had to make to your business model to continue the customer experience and transition to selling online?
Absolutely. I think in times like this, we can be reminded that adversity often brings opportunity and allows us to grow and create new skills and be innovative in ways that maybe we wouldn't have thought of prior. Many businesses, in '08 in the recession were born from that, like Venmo and Instagram and Pinterest, things we use today. So we're really blessed at Perry Homes. We have an incredible team of, marketing staff and people with innovative ideas. They've been really quick on their feet to offer so many tools to our buyers, things like, virtual staging, virtual tours. We have inventory tours that are sent out. And so we have a lot of tools as sales professionals to be able to help our buyers. And even, after this pandemic is over, I think in the world that we live in with so many people moving remotely to Austin, our busy lives, I think we'll see a shift in how more of that is done in the future, even when we can all be in person again. Doesn't take the place, of course, of human interaction, but I think we'll see more of that coming in the future.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you want to add about Perry Homes, or that you think that's important for the agents to know they're on this call? We're obviously using the chat feature in the window here. Brianna from the Perry Homes team is sharing some really great information about the communities, a little bit more about move-in ready inventory homes that are available for purchase. Anything else you want to add, Amy?
Yeah, so I was actually an agent prior to doing new home sales. And I just think it's important that agents know how much we appreciate and value your business and love that partnership that we have. We truly, as sales professionals, are here to make your job easier, to make it a smooth transaction, just to make things easy for you, whatever tools you need, and communication with your buyers, customer service, them being really happy with that product, their home when they move in. So again, we're happy to team with you. We're looking out for your best interest as well, and have some great incentives and programs for realtors as well.
Well, Amy, we're so appreciative of this partnership. We love the relationship with Perry. Love bringing you guys on board and bringing virtual content to our agents. We think this is a really great way for all of us to stay connected in this time when we like you said, so deeply want human interaction. And so even if we can't see each other in person, at least we're staying connected online. So appreciate the partnership. And if anybody has any questions for Amy, feel free to reach out to her. Amy, I'm going to have you in the chat, put your information in there, name, email, address, and let people know how they can reach you. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Amy. Appreciate it. Well, we are so excited to get into today's program. The presenter today, Melanie Mendez-Gonzalez, and I have a personal relationship. When I graduated from Texas A&M University, started my career in marketing and public relations. Melanie and I worked in the same company together in a PR firm, a little boutique firm that we worked at. And she was really jump-starting her career in social media as an influencer and as content creator. And as social media has grown, so has Melanie's foothold and stakehold in the different avenues of social media. I've watched her influence for things like REI and Walmart, big national brands. So she has very much a good story and insight to share with you about ways to leverage tools like Instagram stories, because we're all looking for ways to have free marketing. We're looking for ways to tell our story, to reach our sphere, to influence people. And she's got some really great tools for how we can do that. And so I'm so excited to bring her on today. In fact, she got to speak to our San Antonio audience a couple of weeks ago for Thinkers and Doers. And unfortunately, in Thinkers and Doers, it's a very compressed talk time. So she had to put an entire 1 hour social media Instagram presentation into 15 minutes. So I've apologized to her for that. I'm so excited that she gets a great 50 minutes with you guys to really walk through Instagram, best ways to leverage it, the best ways to create content, and not just how to create content, but how to create content that's meaningful. And I just think that that's so important right now.
Thank you, Ashton.
Welcome.
I'm so excited to be here. First, it's wonderful to reconnect with Ashton. I miss you. I love you. But also to be here with all of you, Austin. I love Austin. I attend several conferences there every year, so I'm super missing my time in Austin. So I'm glad that you're here. As someone who gets to teach people how to use things, I take it as a sincere honor to get to be with you today. So thank you for having me and connecting with Platinum Top 50 and getting to be a part of their community for a quick minute is also very special because I see the community that is here and the importance and the love, not to be too cheesy today, within this community. So yes, like Ashton said, I started my blog in 2010, and through a lot of self-education and other conferences and seminars and learning from the best, I have built this platform. And so I've had to learn how to use all the things. And if you are familiar with social media, which I'm sure most of you are, it changes very quickly. So Instagram Stories is one of my favorite platforms because it reminds me of when Twitter first started. The information that flows through there is very organic and it's natural and it's fun and it moves very quickly. So I love teaching this class and I'm glad that I get more than 15 minutes with y'all today. So a couple of things that we are going to cover today. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, hold on. We are going to cover what Instagram stories are and why they matter. We're going to cover what's changed and what has stayed the same in this time of COVID-19. And then I'm going to offer some tips on what to create and how to publish your Instagram stories. So if you started the year like many people did with a 2020 marketing strategy, most likely that strategy has changed, and that's great. It should have adjusted. And so I hope to give you some pieces that you can plug into your strategy here today via Instagram stories. So what are Instagram stories and why should you create them? Instagram stories are photos and short videos that disappear in 24 hours. Instagram stories are a quick and easy way to share moments and experiences. So let me show you what they look like on the app. So I chose one of the most well-known realtors in the US today, thanks to the hit Bravo TV show, Million Dollar Listing in New York. I really enjoy Ryan Serhant's Instagram and his Instagram stories because he does a great job of keeping his stories a little bit of everything. He shares his personal life, he shares his work, he shares his other projects. So I'm actually going to hop over so that you all can see my phone screen. And if you will notice this orange pinkish circle around his profile picture, that means that there's a story ready to watch. So this is his profile. So this is what we mean by your Instagram account or your Instagram profile is this, what we look at. And then when we click on your profile picture and you have a story ready, this is what we see. So he's sharing his daughter here. He's tagged Stella McCartney for the outfit. He's sharing from the Serhant team about work. And that's all he has there today. But you can see down here in some of his previous stories, see, he isn't shy about sharing his family life. And when his daughter was born, he let everyone in on that. But he also shares a lot about real estate. And so that is, I think, a very great, sorry, all these messages. example of how to share your family life, your regular life, as well as your business, so that people who are following you, your community, see who you are completely. That is why Instagram Stories is such a popular um, platform. Why people are drawn to it, because it's more than just these curated grid photos that you see on the profile. It's a little bit of like behind the scenes. So, introduced in 2016, Instagram Stories are now used by more than 500 million people every day. So, just in 4 short years, more than 500 million people are using Instagram Stories. So, why do you want to use them? Really simply because stories matter. Stories are what connect you to your audience. Stories will be what connects you to your community, to your potential buyers. And honestly, stories are the only thing that makes you different from any of your other competitors. You can use Instagram stories to tell your personal story, which will allow you to humanize your brand and engage with your community. I like to think about when I'm talking to realtors, I like to remind them that when you're showing properties, more than likely you begin to tell stories with your clients. Either they're telling you stories or you're telling them stories, but that's how we connect. So think about Instagram stories as that time that you spend with your clients and building a connection. So I asked people in my own audience, why do they love Instagram stories and who does it best? So I want to share with you some of the answers they gave me. Um, one of them was that you get to know a person or about the basics of a subject in a short time. Because remember, Instagram stories, each frame is only 15 seconds. I love that it's more raw, candid, in the moment, as opposed to really well produced videos. It feels like your friends, like, oh, what is so and so up to today? I also like the organic content it allows you to add to your brand. It is refreshing that they are ephemeral. Forgive me if I say that word wrong. I always get it wrong, but I keep it in the presentation because it means that they're just really quick. They just come and go really easily. And again, that's why people enjoy Instagram stories as opposed to it's the place where this really quick fun content can exist for a short moment as opposed to the really great well produced videos that you see on IGTV or on YouTube, and also as opposed to the very well edited photos that you see in the grid. There's a place and time for everything. And Instagram stories is the fun, organic content behind the scenes. But wait, there's more reasons why you should use Instagram stories. Stories are the full screen way to advertise your brand, and they are proven to get your customers to take action. 62% of people become more interested in a brand or product after seeing it in a story. But 200 million Instagram users visit at least one business profile daily. But here's what I really believe is important for businesses and why they should use Instagram stories. TechCrunch reports that 1 in 5 Instagram stories shared by a brand receives a direct reply, giving brands a direct line to connect with their audience and learn more about them. It is basically like someone walking up to you and saying, here's my phone number and my email address, please contact me. When they directly reply to your engaging Instagram story, they are letting you know they want to connect with you. So you don't have to seek them out. You don't have to ask permission to contact them. With their direct reply to you, they've opened the door for you. And isn't that, as business owners, what we all want? We want the audience, the community's permission to stay in contact. But what about social media in the time of Corona? What's changed? What stayed the same? Facebook and Instagram have seen a 40% increase in usage. Instagram Live's popularity surged 288% from March 15th through April 14th. 288%. Everybody was looking for somebody to watch on Instagram Live. Stories impressions, meaning the amount of people who saw them, increased by 21% week after week during this time. People want to do more than just connect through messaging and text. They want to see each other, something that Amy touched on earlier. People are longing for that person-to-person connection. Also, what's changed is many people now have a new work from home and teach from home and do all the things from home type of life. And so they're looking for those types of connections. Instagram Live to IGTV updates are due to increased usage. So what that means is on Instagram Live, it used to just be that you could go live and then it would be deleted from your account within 24 hours. But because live is so popular now, Instagram is changing that so that you can do your lives and then you can save them to your account and they become a part of your digital content, your digital library on Instagram. So those are the things that have changed. Social media, particularly Facebook and Instagram, are seeing a lot more increase in usage. But here's what has stayed the same. The importance to post consistently. This is the thing that if you don't hear anything else today, hear this. A lack of consistency will bring a lack of interest. The whole reason that you have your brand on Instagram is to engage with your community. It's a lead machine for you, or it's a way to connect. It's a way to tell your stories. It's a way to produce content. It's a way to get your name out there. But if you're not doing it on a regular basis, people will lose interest. So even if you come out with a bang, excuse me, and you did gain some interest, if you're not consistently posting content, people will leave. They will find someone else to watch. Just as I shared the stats earlier, people are looking for people to engage with on social media. So why shouldn't it be you? The other thing that has stayed the same is staying true to your own voice. The current circumstances can be very stressful mentally, it can be draining, and it can cause a lot of anxiety for your community, for the people around you. So they are looking for people who have been consistent, not just posting, but consistent in using your own voice. They want they're looking for things that have stayed the same. So that's why it's important to stay true to your own voice. This isn't the time to become a different persona. You could talk about different things, but don't become a different persona. They followed you for a reason, they engage with you for a reason, and they're looking for that consistent, authentic voice. So, how many times, though, have we heard this? Be authentic. It's almost cliche now. Everybody says be authentic, use your own voice. But what does that actually mean? So people use it all the time, but do we really stop and think about what does it mean to be authentic? There's a way to find out. So right now we're going to take a moment and I want you to ask yourself this question. So my next screen, I want you to either screenshot it or write it down. And I want you to think about who are you, no matter the circumstance. So pre-COVID-19, during COVID-19, who you will be after COVID-19. Are you kind? Are you supportive? Are you honest? Are you an educator? Are you curious? Are you funny? Are you a philanthropist? Are you a leader? Who are you? No, if whatever is happening around you, you have these values and that's who you are no matter what. So if you have a pen and paper in front of you or you're taking notes on your devices, think about who you are and write down 3 description words. And if you can't do this right now, or you're having a hard time thinking about what would describe you, ask a trusted friend. They know who you are and they'll tell you the truth. So for me, no matter the circumstance, I am a storyteller, I'm an educator, and I'm curious. That's who I am no matter the circumstance. So once you have that answer, you lead with that. You lead with your values. That's what you value the most, and that's what you lead with. And that's what makes your voice authentic. So now that you have your values, now you can bring value to your community. And you bring value by weaving in stories about your business, about listings, about resources, about closings, and things like that. But you start with leading with your values, and then you pivot and bring value to your audience. Okay, so now that we know who you are and what your values are and how you can bring value, I'm going to tell you this is where things get tricky. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret about social media. This whole thing is actually not about you at all. It is really about your audience. It's about them. It's not about you. It's about them. So ask yourself, how do you want people to feel about your message? So remember earlier I told you that I asked people what did they like about Instagram stories. This was a surprise answer to me that I received. Someone told me that they love it when I say hola queridos, which is something that I started way back when I was trying to brand who I was, and I came up with this phrase to say hola queridos, which means hello lovelies, hello loved ones. And so that's how I introduced every time I get on a video or something like that, because that's what I call my audience, my queridos. And so that reminded me that that's how somebody feels that way about me. And so that was a really nice, refreshing way to think about that. So I keep that top of mind, that's how I make somebody out there feel. But I want to introduce you to someone named Berna. She is one of my favorite people on Instagram. And I want to show you some of her stories because I want you to get an idea and maybe come up with your own thoughts of how people feel when they watch her stories. I feel this is very appropriate for Texas. So something that Berna does is she asks people this question, asking them what was one of your money wins this week? And so there it is. It says latest money win plus the song request I can dance to. So if you answer her question with one of your money wins, because she's a financial consultant, and you tell her how you save money or what one of your money wins was, and suggest a song for her, she'll dance for you. And I love this. It always brings a smile to me watching her stories. And I think about even the people who sent that in and how excited they must be and how, they have something to celebrate with. This person paid off a medical bill that had been dragging them down. And now they have Berna. Oh, sorry. I don't know if that's appropriate. But they have somebody celebrating with them as well. So she makes me laugh. It's lots of fun. It's something to celebrate. So you can imagine Berna now has 25,000 followers on Instagram. She's helped many, many people save a lot of money, get out of debt, and all while making people feel great and celebrate and have fun. And so back to you, I ask you, how do you want people to feel about your message? So you need to think about your audience. And in some ways you could do that is use your analytics tools to find out more about who is actually your audience. Use the Instagram features to ask them questions, teach them something new, reshare their stories when they mention you, and show up for them consistently. You want to always think about your audience. That is the key. If you know your values and you're thinking about your audience, you have a winning formula for Instagram stories. So here are some content ideas for you, Austin agents. Ask them how they're doing. So use the generated user created content like the polls, the questions, the challenges, and we'll go over those too. Highlight your life at home. Real estate agents have long been the people who can work from home or work from their cars or work from basically anywhere. I've seen you do it. Y'all are experts. Highlight that life. That's what people are looking for. There you go. Be the expert on working from home and on the go. Promote any workshops and events, obviously virtual events right now. Cross promote on other social media channels. If you have recently started a TikTok, cross promote that on your Instagram stories. Share self-care tips. People are wanting self-care tips right now, this whole time of COVID-19. Share how you started your career. What is the most memorable listing or sale? What was your first sale? What are your current listings or your curbside closings? Highlight, oh, sorry, I didn't update that. That was highlight San Antonio or Austin or wherever you're selling your homes or your properties. FAQs. So this tip is huge if you don't know where to start. If you have hired someone to answer your phones or answer your emails, you probably have a list of FAQs that people ask you all the time. That is what should be in your content in your Instagram stories. Give financial advice, anything that you're legally able to give. And interview your business partners. I know that's selling real estate. There's a lot of different business partners. There's a lot of different steps involved. Partner with some of the people that you work with on a regular basis to give your audience a little bit more of an insight. Some people, actually, I should take that back. A lot of people don't understand what goes into the real estate process. And even if they're not, you don't know what you don't know, basically. So if you interview your partners and you help educate them what that process is, then you become the expert, you become the go-to person, and that means you get more referrals. And then finally, collaborate with an influencer. Personally, I know a lot of Austin influencers who are always highlighting the city and sharing the great things about Austin. It would be great if you could collaborate with one of them. Maybe let one of them interview you, or maybe you interview them, or maybe you ask them to do an Instagram takeover. The possibilities of working with an influencer are endless. So here are some quick strategy tips for your stories. Plan ahead. Plan out the storyline, use a storyboard if needed. This is like anything else. If you were going to do write a short story or just write your social media post, if you plan out your Facebook post, your Twitter post, you do the same thing for Instagram. But ask yourself, what is the purpose of this story? Is it for sales? Is it to increase followers or engagement? Is it for brand awareness? What is your call to action? What do you want people to do after they've watched your story? And how often will you post? What is realistic for you? So something that works really well for a lot of people is just to create a bunch of content over the weekend and then spread that out over the week. If it's not realistic for you to post every day as you go along, then create a bunch of content in the beginning and then spread it out over the week. And then when will you post? Morning, afternoon, evening? You can go back and look at your analytics and see what does better for your audience. And I would encourage you to just try and adjust. There's no magic formula. Everyone's always asking me for the magic formula. When is the best time? Honestly, the best time is when your audience is on Instagram. And the only way you can figure that out is by referring to your analytics. Stay on brand. So use an established brand theme. So use myself as an example here. It's funny that I chose the screen about 2020 goals, but whatever. This is something that I did obviously at the beginning of the year, but you can see my tone and my colors match my logo. I have my hashtags. I choose the emoji stickers. You can see right here, these purple hearts. I try to include them in almost every Instagram story that I create. And then just these dots are just my brand colors that I use whenever I can. I made this purple background for this Instagram story because I want people to even this purple that you're looking at on this presentation. It's a marketing strategy. I want you to associate that color of purple with Gaming Sweat. So do that for yourself. Choose your favorite emojis or your favorite stickers. There's only so many fonts in Instagram stories, and I do encourage you to use the ones that are in there as opposed to going out to using a different app. But choose one and try to be consistent with it. That will connect people to who you are. Your analytics. The most important things for your analytics to see, okay, so you're creating stories, you're giving it a try. Now, what are you looking for, right? You're looking for interactions, the actions that people take when they engage with your story. Do they reply? Do they visit your profile? Do they tap on the stickers that you use? The discovery and how many people see your content and where did they find that? Those are your impressions, the reach, the follows, the navigation. So here are some screenshots of some of my stories. So you could see here, this story, 316 people saw it. There was 140 actions taken on this story. 5 of them replies, 1 of them was a profile visit, and then I had tagged a bunch of people. So whatever of these 316 people who saw this story, 134 tapped on these people that I tagged. Then over here, 360 people saw this story. 4 interactions happened. There's 4 replies. Here's the discovery. 359 people saw this story, 428 impressions. That means that of the 359 people who saw it, some of them went back and saw it again. No new follows, and they did navigate. So these are just some of the analytics that are available to you free. They're within the app so that as you're trying new Instagram story strategies, you can see what's working and what's not. What are people actually engaging with? Okay, so what I wanted to show you was just a little bit of how to create an Instagram story on your phone. These are the types of stories that are available. The live, so that's when you just hit live and you start talking to your camera or your phone, or you're interviewing someone, or you're showing them where you're at. You can respond to questions. You can use this option to feature when someone asks you a question in live. You can add a friend, so you can like do an interview style. Reminder, when I talked about interviewing your business partners, you can add face filters, or you can create. So in these options of this story, you could use just typeface, you can use GIFs, there are different templates on this day. So like memories, you can use a poll, ask me a question, and so on and so on. That's the normal option, which is where you just hold the button down and you record the video, or you just tap the button and it takes a picture, and you can use a filter. The same thing with the boomerang, which is widely popular, boomerangs with any kind of filters. The layouts, the super zoom effects, the hands-free, which is the same thing as normal, but you just don't have to hold the button down. It'll just do it for you. Okay, so are you ready? I think I've got a few minutes to show you how to create stories. So I'm gonna share my screen with you here. I'm gonna go into the Instagram app. We'll get out of Ryan's stories here. Because I don't want to run out of time before I show you why I think that using the generated user options are most important. Let me show you why. So here are stories that I shared. So yesterday I was outdoors. So this is on brand for me. I talk a lot about outdoors. So a story is really 3 to 5 frames. Your story shouldn't be longer than that. So one story is outdoors. So I just 3 frames of outdoors. Then the next story are different webinars that I was sharing for my followers to check out. And then this is a story that I posted right before this this workshop. So I'm doing a giveaway for a free screening of Scoop, the new movie that's coming out on Friday. So one of the things that I did was I used this poll. You can see here the options. I asked, want to win a free screening of Scoop? And the options were, I love free movies. The second option was maybe next time. So then I followed that up with 2 other stories, right, to make it a full 3 frames. So let me show you what I'm talking about here, though. So when you swipe up, you can see the analytics here. So you can see that so far there have been 3 actions that have been taken on this story. There were 2 replies and 1 profile visit. And if I click on this blue, I'm sorry, on the 46, I can see who responded to that poll. Okay, so what I will do is the giveaway ends tomorrow. So after I choose the winner and let that person know they won, for any of these people that maybe I don't engage with regularly, I will send them a message. So say like Sandra, right? So if Sandra doesn't win, then I can message Sandra, right? Because she engaged with me. So I can message her back and I could say, thanks for answering my poll. Stay tuned for the next giveaway or something like that, right? And I won't send this now, but then I could send that to Sandra. And now I have an open conversation with Sandra. So the next time I have a movie giveaway or any other kind of giveaway or a freebie about the Scoop movie or something like that, now I already have this engagement with Sandra because she responded to my poll, so I can send her a direct message. So I'll tell you, technically, anybody who has seen your story, you could send them a message, but honestly, that's a little spammy because they're only engaging with you because they saw your story. They're not asking you a question. So that's why I'm a huge fan of using these polls or these questions, because then you can begin that conversation with the people. Okay, so if we're creating a story, hi you guys. So here's from your home page, you click home, you click this little camera in the top left-hand corner. That brings up this screen. You can switch to whichever story you want, right? Here's a layout. So you can choose how many photos you want to take. I know, this looks really vain, I know. But you could do whatever you wanted to do with it and then use that story. You could do the boomerang, right? And now this boomerang has these different options. You don't have to just use a normal boomerang. You can slow it down. You could do an echo. And you could do a duo where it just repeats itself, right? So now there's all these cool options for that. All right, okay, so quickly we'll go through, see if this is a live option. If I hit live right now, then I would be broadcasting to everyone. It tells you how many people are online. You see that 102 followers are active. So that's also another great indicator. If you just kind of go in at different times of the day and see how many of your followers are active, it'll give you a good idea of when is a great time to go online. This is the create. So it doesn't use the camera. It gives you these options down here. You can tap it to just type. So I could just type right here. But one of the reasons that I love Create the most is because we don't always have all this time, right, to think about all these different pieces of content to create. But Create lets you does a lot of it for you. It maybe you want to do a shout out. Maybe you want to use a GIF for your background. Right? You could use all these different types of GIFs that just come up. Maybe you want Instagram to tell you what to post. It gives you these different options. You don't even have to come up with it or write it or create it or use a different app. This is for if somebody mentioned you. See, someone mentioned you before, then I could share this into my story. This will show you things that you did in the past, which I love using this one, especially right now in COVID-19, right? We're not out created a bunch of content, but you have all this content from before. You could ask a question, and even better, see the dice at the top. You could let Instagram come up with a question for you, right? And so then if you're asking this question and they respond to you, then you can begin a conversation with them. Then you can just ask them to ask you a question. So if you use these types of things, right? The polls, the questions, those are what we call the user-generated content, and then you can reply back to them. New things are to set up a donation to a nonprofit. You could set up a countdown, right? So if you have a new listing coming up, or if there's an event coming up, you can set up a countdown for that, or just the weekend. And then a quiz. And again, use the dice at the top, and Instagram will come up with the quiz questions for you. Great. So mark that. Create. If you don't have the time to come up with the original content, but you want to be consistent, use the create option. Okay. Here are the super zooms that are also a lot of fun, right? And you can use all different kinds of those. If you are at your own rave all by yourself, you could do that too. So there's different options in there. And then just a hands-free is the same thing as the user, but if you hold it, you can use the different filters on the hands-free. This is very San Antonio Fiesta. This is actually my Fiesta dress, so this is appropriate. But anyway, you just hold it down and it'll do a countdown for you, because maybe you're showing a property and you want to be able to use your other hands to point things out and not have to hold the button down and create a really great Instagram story. Hands-free is a really great option. And once you've created the story, you use all of these things to add to your story. You want to use text. I'll finish with this. All of these options that Instagram gives you, they want you to use it. So the more native options that you use in your stories, the better chance that the Instagram algorithm will, I don't know what these songs are, will help your stories be seen. Does that make sense? Because it's kind of like you created this stuff, you want people to see it. Instagram created all these options for you to use. They want you to use it. Okay, so that is, in a nutshell, what I've got for you. Now I'm all confused as to how to get back to the screen. So, are there any questions?
I'm back. Hey.
Awesome. Yay. Okay.
So y'all will love this. So I'm working from home and I have the help of my mom helping watch my toddler. And pretty soon I look over my shoulder and it's like she's in the back with her phone, like practicing the different layouts. Like she's watching the presentation, trying to figure out stories. And it's really, really funny in the background here. I think that, one question that came up in the chat, and I think that this is such a good question, especially for agents, because there is confusion or uncertainty about whether or not they should create a separate branded page for their business. So what is your advice on that, especially with the different nuances with like having an Instagram personal page versus a business page?
Right. So I would say, how serious are you about your business? Like if your business is a whole separate thing from your life, then you definitely want a business page. Also, there are more options on a business page. There are more features to use. You definitely have more analytics. Honestly, I can't even remember what the analytics are on a personal page anymore, but they're not as robust as the business page. And so what I did was I have a personal Instagram. I honestly just don't use it as much. But it is, at least it gives me like a peace of mind, like that's personal and then this is business. And that helps me like when I want to share something a little bit more personal, I have a place to share that. Because like I want to share it because everybody wants to share online. But you're like, does this really make sense? And if it doesn't, I at least have a place to share it and I can keep my business on brand.
Right. I think that it's so important too in this day and age that you have to, one, assess your motives. And you also have to assess the privacy concerns because most of you are parents, most of you are grandparents, being able to share what kind of content that you want everybody to see. So there is the ability to make your personal page private where
Right.
you can post to close friends and family and maybe some of your clients if you want to let them in on that level. And then on the other side of that, maybe your business page is opened up and you only share bits and pieces of that. So maybe keeping them separately does present an interesting opportunity because, you know, you're able to keep those things truly separate. Somebody did ask, is there a possibility to get a step-by-step action plan for what we should be doing? Maybe a calendar to reflect that when and where. I know that Melanie's put together some really good tools for
Yes.
those types of resources.
I don't have a calendar per se. I'd be happy to share some references to some great calendars that are already out there. But what I do have, Ashton, if anyone wants it, is I have this in a PDF form. It's a step-by-step on how to create Instagram stories. This is hours and hours of YouTube research. No, and personal research. But this is just like so that you don't have to go and do it. And it's kind of like a cheat sheet. And then I'd be happy to share some of the calendars that I have found online because I definitely, you just need those little reminders like the national days, like every day is a national day of something, which is something that I personally use too. I'm like, oh, what am I going to share this week? And then like, you know, last week was National Teacher Appreciation Day and Nurses Appreciation Day and things like that. So it's definitely helpful.
I think I mean, you hit on a couple of things that I really want to reiterate and bring home. And for those of you who don't know, like my background is in digital. I love social. I'm, you know, a closet tech nerd. I love it. I love analytics. I love engagement. I think it's super overwhelming. So I want all of you to take a deep breath. This is overwhelming. Most people that have marketing teams, they're hired. So also give yourself grace because you see these people that are doing it and a lot of them are hiring someone. You know, they have someone that's following them around, taking their picture and helping them post it. And so, you know, these cute little girls that are trying on 100 different outfits, they might have done that in one day and then they're not doing anything else for the rest of the year. So those are the things that I think you have to also give yourself a really worldly perspective of that type of content and see how it's done. And if you understand that, then it's easier to grasp to say, okay, I'm going to do this. The user-generated content, I love that because you don't have to think about it, but it is a way to be in front of your audience. And for those of you who don't know, if you're on Instagram stories and you see the people at the top of your Instagram page, the reason they show at the top to show their feed is because those are the people that you're engaging with. So if there's a reason, I mean, Instagram is following your every interaction. So if you have liked someone's post, if you've commented on their post or you've viewed their stories, Instagram is assuming, you know what, Ashton sure has commented on Melanie's information a lot this month. We're going to put Melanie at the top of her stories because we think that that's content that Ashton wants to see. So be thinking about that when you start to pay attention to who's in your little highlight feed at the top of your stories. That's why. That's why. And most of the times, if you're like me, you see people up there and you're going, well, I know exactly because I'm I'm influenced by them. I'm buying something that they're selling. I'm clicking the links that they're putting in their posts. I bought that thing off Amazon that they told me was great.
Exactly. And in turn, it's why you want to be consistent, even if it's not like a full production every day, like something every day consistently to get them to engage with you so that you get to the top of their page and then they start watching. There's so many things you could do. What I encourage, especially agents right now, is to be that go-to work from home lifestyle brand right now. Like that is, you guys, I'm assuming, I know this is a big assumption, but you guys do that already. So all you have to do is share what you're doing. right? And use the filters if you're not wearing makeup, or, you don't have to be the one in the camera. The only reason I'm in all my pictures is because I did a test. I looked at my, I looked at my analytics with pictures with me and without me. And the ones with me got more engagement than the ones without me. And so that's why, if that's not what you want to do, then create content where you're not in it, and look at what the analytics say about that. You don't have to be I think that, because that's what I hear more than anything, is I don't want to be the one in the camera. I'm not good. And you don't have to be. You can use it as a lens of what you're seeing in your world, and let your audience decide what they enjoy most.
You don't have to be good and you don't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of it. And for those of you, I mean, in Austin, y'all are probably familiar with Luxury League. So I'm the campaign manager of that one. And we did Instagram takeovers with our agents. And so names that you'll recognize. So Carol Dochin did an Instagram takeover with Luxury League. And she showed us, she went for her morning walk and she showed how she fed the birds. And she showed a delivery that she was making to a listing. And then Jeanette Spinelli did one, and she was vacuuming the floor of a listing at 10 o'clock at night because there was nobody else to do it. And those are the types of things that people want to see. That people want to see inner working, because I'm sure all of you combat misconceptions about what you do all day. And I think people want to know when people can appreciate that, especially now, to show how it's changed. And I love the content idea you gave about tying into your inner network, the people that are your go-to resources for lending, for title, for home repairs and maintenance, landscape, interior design. Those are all people that are also, like you, business owners, looking to generate content themselves, cross-promoting to their audience to show that there is an alignment or an affiliation there. You can see us doing that with Platinum Top 50. We're getting our partners on, doing live stories on Facebook to be able to tag them and share content. And it's a win-win situation in that regard. So that one, if I could challenge any of you, put that one in your back pocket and use it before you use anything else, because that is gold. Absolutely.
I mean, I'll say, as someone who has bought a house more than once, I learn something new every time, every process. And I always find myself thinking, more people should know this. People should be talking about this. More people should know. So something that might seem mundane and redundant to you, I guarantee you there are people who have no clue. And honestly, this Instagram story class, came out of that. I was like, oh my God, everybody knows how to use Instagram stories. And somebody grabbed me and they're like, they don't. Somebody needs to teach us. Mm-hmm. And so that would be what I would say to you, is there are things that that sound so boring or just redundant, and they're not. People want to know that.
Exactly. And I think too, especially because real estate is such a personal business. I mean, yes, people hire through referrals, but sometimes you just hire somebody because you really like them and you know that they're going to take care of you, and that you know that they're going to do a good job. And I think that if you hire someone that your personalities mesh and your values and your ideals, I mean, to trust someone with your ultimate investment, your ultimate transaction, being able to know that you connect on a level besides just the paperwork is huge. And I can tell you that I would probably vet an agent as a home buyer before I get ready to move on Instagram, not just reading their testimonials, but to see who they really are. And I can promise you, it's not the person that has the full production. There are some people who love that, but I can guarantee you, I'm not the girl looking for the full production. So just be true to yourself. I love that. The other thing wanted to hit on real fast, Melanie, that we didn't talk about is connecting Instagram to Facebook stories. So feeling like you don't have to do 2 stories. So Facebook owns Instagram, owns the world. And so there is the feature to connect the 2, to be able to turn Instagram stories on. So when you do an Instagram story in one place, it automatically pushes to your Facebook page. So you're not having to reduplicate that content.
And I will add, that's where is a benefit of having the business page, because your business Instagram will only connect to your business Facebook, and your personal Instagram will connect to your personal Facebook. So that is something to consider when you're thinking about, should I have a business or a personal account?
Well, Melanie, thank you. It's always a joy learning from you and getting some great insight. Everybody that's on, we will certainly get Melanie's PDF and her links to her resources. We'll also share some additional resources on Perry Homes. Again, very, very grateful for the support of our partners, and encourage agents to lean on the sales professionals at Perry if there are any questions, any of the communities that they're building in. But for now, we are just so grateful to be able to connect with you all online and look forward to hugging you and seeing you in person soon.
Thank you, Ashton. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.